achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. I want to thank you once again for giving me 1 hour to empower you, inspire you, motivate you, and make an indelible impact upon your life and to increase your faith. Everything you want to accomplish is possible if you only believe and work for it. You know, you got to go to work, but everything is possible. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My sisters and brothers, you have to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. And that's real talk. Again, I am Dr. Judy, your radio host of this amazing and impactful show. And to all of you, thank you once again for joining me on the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. Whether you're on by radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube, or Instagram, or the radio app, I am honored that you have chosen to join me. So please do me a favor. And for those of you who are returning to the show, you know what I have to do before I go any further. I must say hello to my mama. So if y'all will, go ahead and contact somebody, email them, text them. Now, if you're driving, don't text, okay? Do not do that. But you can't pull over to the side of the road because you're late for work. You're already late. So go ahead and pull over, text, tag everyone you know. Today is going to be a powerful show talking about some of our world's most precious gems and vulnerable people. And we must have, y'all see my audience, I got two beautiful ladies who are going to help me do this. They know a whole lot and they are precious to Leon County. But I'm going to introduce them in a few moments because I need you to go ahead and get everybody on here. I need you to tag and share. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and tag and share because I got to do this most important part first. Hello, Mama. So glad you're joining me. So glad you're here. And y'all always know I say hello to her first. She is my life, and I just want to thank you. And I always say this every time I come on. I want to thank all of you who prayed for my mom. Thank you. So many of you prayed. So many of you still ask. Every time you see me, and most times before you ask me how I'm doing, you ask me how my mama doing. But that means so much for me, to me, because when she was in her most trying time in her health, and I put a 911 out on Facebook, so many people responded, even people who didn't know my mom, people who didn't know me. You responded, and because of your prayers, I really believe this with all my heart, that your prayers helped my mom be here today. And I want to thank you all so very much. The doctor said she wasn't going to make it. I think that was 8 years ago. And she's still here. She always tell us she ain't moving like she used to. Mom, you 86. Okay, so Mama, thank you so very much. And thank you for still being my trusted advisor. I know we haven't started the show yet, Seeking Holly, but my mom used to sit on the board of the CSC in Broward County.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Full circle.
Yeah, and they still call her at times to for her advice. She had a child development center for 45 years.
Wow.
So just to sit here with you all, and when we were voting for it, I asked her if that was the wise thing to do, and she said, "You better,
awesome.
better vote for it."
Yes.
And so, Mama, today, I don't want to get ahead. Mama, today I have two ladies that you're going to be proud of. So do not doze off yet, please. Okay. So, Mama, thank you, Tanya. Thank you for having her on. Greatly appreciated. And y'all, Tanya is my sister who take care of my mom. She and my niece Kiara. and her husband Dennis. Thank y'all so very much. And to the one who allowed me to do what I do without any problem, my awesome and amazing husband, and the Gerald Mandrell. Thank you for tuning in, sweetheart. Greatly appreciate you. And to you, Priscilla, my production manager and my production manager, marketing, and your team. Thank you so very much, Priscilla, for all that you do. Y'all, she's been doing this for 10 years. And Priscilla, I want to thank you so very much. Every flyer, everything you do, when I follow her direction, things are done well. So again, audience, thank you for allowing me to introduce my mom, my family, and now I get to introduce to y'all two amazing women that I am honored to have with me this morning. Two women that I highly admire, respect their work, respect what they do in our community, respect what they help us to do. I appreciate them greatly. They made me a better keeper of paper. But if you ever see on Facebook that they're having training or they're doing anything, go be a part. It'll help your organization. It'll help you as an executive director, as director. Both of them are very dear. I like to see Sika in meetings, especially when she's making them hard points, boy. Oh boy, she's funny. They're sharp. And so we're honoring, this is Women History Month, and I want to thank you all. I don't have any roses to give to y'all today.
No, we don't
but
need roses.
I just want to say thank you for what you both bring to this community and how you all help us as executive directors, our team, everything. You all have helped us be better. And I think I probably speak for all of us. I'm sure that we're much better because of your input, the trainings that you all provide, the one-on-one that you give to us. If we call, y'all gonna call us back. Even if you don't answer, you're gonna call us back or email us back, even your staff. So I want to say thank you so very much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Sika Green, who is, and a lot of you all probably know her, some of you do not, but she's a dynamic leader, extraordinary. She is the executive director of Children's Services Council of Leon County, and because they got something else that's happening that you all got to know about. Oh no, it's too late for me to get in, but I will get in somewhere, even if I serve. But I just want to say thank you. She is the executive director, and she happens to be a Delta Sigma Theta. But ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Miss Sika Green.
Thank you, Judy. Oh my gosh. It is our pleasure to serve this community, a community where I was educated, raised my family, the whole nines. My mom still lives here. My sister's here. So serving in this position is really an honor for me. And doing the work that it takes to help our community move in a direction where no family is left behind, no child is without what they need to find their greatness. And when that happens, we as a community become even better and better and better. And so thank you for having me, having us. And we just look forward to a great conversation about the things that the council are doing.
Yeah, we appreciate. I remember the first time I heard you speak, and you were so adamant about the children and helping us to work and to pull together. And I'm like, I like her. That's cool. She was fierce. She was sure. She wasn't intimidated, but she showed her heart. And I want to thank you so very much. And Holly, when I met you, Holly was smiling and just as hyper as I am, but she knew her information and she knew how to help move us and for us to move and how to write better, how to put this in place. Holly, I really appreciate y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, the Special Project Director of Children's Services Council of Leon County, Ms. Holly McPhail.
Thank you so much, Miss Judy, for having us here, having me here, inviting me to be a part of this and share this space with you today. My mom's probably not listening, but I would love to share this link back to her because she too lives here. So hi, Mom. I'm going to give you the link. Miss Dawn, just hi. I hope you're feeling better today. So thank you. One of the things that really inspired me about having the opportunity to work with Sika is that we approach the work that we do not as a typical grantee-grantor relationship. We call our partners, just that, community investment partners, because when they're successful, our organization as a whole is successful, which means our community is successful. And we really do believe that we all have a role to play in building strong families. And when we have strong families, we have strong community. And that's really what we're about. So it's exciting to be here today and share a little bit about what the council is up to and how we are partnering with organizations, small and large, to make a real impact.
And I was just thinking about that, Holly, that they partner with small grassroots organizations, not just the big organizations like Boys and Girls Club or some of the other big organizations. Because my organization is not huge, and there are some smaller than mine that they have helped serve the people that we serve. And so that is a plus, because some people only serve the larger organizations because they have an opportunity to make a greater, well, I'm saying a larger impact. They can serve more families. Yeah. But for those who are serving 50 and probably some smaller than that, but I know 50 to 100 children, they fund us and they give us as much attention as they give the larger organization. And that's one of the things that I had noticed, and I really appreciate it.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
It's so when the council was first formed, and let me stop here because that was definitely a decision, a focus of the council itself, the council members. And it really came out of looking at the data and the points that came out of the needs assessment. So part of that needs assessment was doing an asset map and an asset analysis and really looking at what organizations are here, what nonprofits are here, where do they focus, really diving into that to not only look at the organizations, but also the programs that they run. And what QQ Research, which was the firm that was commissioned by the council to do that needs assessment, found is that they're close to 2,000, somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 nonprofits that are focused just on children, youth, and families within Leon County, the confines of Leon County. Some of those nonprofits serve 1 or 2 children, families. Okay. Some serve hundreds. Okay. And then the other thing that came out of that was, while you have your larger nonprofits, and yes, those larger nonprofits many times have a national, regional, or national body behind them that helps give them their structure, their support, and their guidance. There are many emerging organizations that came out of a need here in Leon County. Sometimes it's because of something the founder experienced, someone in their family experienced, something that they saw needed to be addressed, and they just got in there and started doing the work. It becomes taxing when you don't have a methodology and you're not memorializing how you do what you do.
Sure.
And many of those organizations are the ones that are reaching our families. Mm-hmm. And in many cases, those deep in families that are literally on the brink of having it all fall apart. So we would be derelict in our duties if we did not help and support them to be able to do this work, because they are the ones that our neighborhoods trust, that our citizens trust. And if they say it's worth it and the program should be done, or that a family or child should participate, those families and children listen. And so it is imperative that we work collaboratively, large, medium, small, haves, have-nots, educated, uneducated, wealthy, not so wealthy, to ensure that we bridge that gap and bring the schism, that chasm that is wide in our community, closer and closer to closing. And the only way we do that is by all coming together and understanding that all of us have a part in the solution.
I like to call these organizations, truly they're the gap fillers, and they deserve just as much respect and support as the larger organizations. At the end of the day, if the larger organizations were being fully effective without the use of these smaller organizations, we wouldn't be facing the outcomes that we're facing. So by really focusing effort, being intentional on focusing our effort at those gaps, it's the families that we really want to reach that are going to have the relationships with the smaller organizations that not only are driven by their model and kind of knowledge of the community, but they have the heart and the passion, and they have a trusting relationship with the families. If we don't intentionally focus in on the gaps and support and fund the gap fillers, then we're never going to change the community. It will be Groundhog's Day in this community over and over and over again.
Right.
So I know our chair has said this phrase that I have just fallen in love with. So Chair Jones, he said, we're doing a common thing in an uncommon way.
Uncommon way.
And I'm sure there's
extraordinary.
There's a story behind this quote. I'm sure that there's that people could quote, but he said that one day, and that's really the work of the council of we're intentionally doing things differently than the way that they've been done for decades in this community. And it's very exciting to see that momentum building and organizations, small, medium, and large, working together.
Yeah. And we appreciate it because now we get to see our families really receiving and the grassroots and the smaller organization able to accomplish some things that we weren't able to do. We're even able to hire one or two people.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of work. I started Dream Builders Greatness Center, and most of you all know that back in 2000, and did a lot of work just with my husband, my funding, different people out in the community, different churches, asked them, let's partner, do this or do that. But I used to work for the Department of Children and Families. But actually, when I grew up, I thought I was rich. That's how it started. I thought I was rich. And when I saw children not able to have what I had, I told my mom, I said, God called me to save the world.
I love it. I'm here for it.
This is how we do it.
And he called me to save the world. And my dad said I had the faith of life, but I always felt like everyone should have the opportunity that I had growing up as a child. I never went hungry. We always had plenty.
Yes.
And how people say they had to eat what was put before them. My mom never made us do that. And we didn't like it. We didn't have to eat it. 6 of us, and she cooked 6 different meals.
Oh, wow.
Bless your heart.
I know. I never had that. And I tell her,
I don't want my kids listening.
My mom. Yeah.
I know my husband, I say, Mom, you eat it or you don't eat anything.
That's right.
Yes.
But she
And I'm going to serve it to you the next day as well.
Right there.
That's right.
But she never did that. That's why it made me think I was rich.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go into the project and take food from our house, take my mom clothes, my dad clothes, my sister's clothes, because I felt like they should have it. I went to school to be a social worker because I felt like I was going to help save the world.
Right.
And Harriet Tubman became my mom was my #1 mentor, Harriet Tubman, then Angela Davis, people who helped save the world, right?
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was my duty. And when I worked over in Quincy, Gaston County, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
They just seemed so different. And I felt like that was the area I worked there for 20 years to help these family change, and now so many are coming back. So when we have the opportunity to get finances and understand even better how important data is, because to me, I didn't care. I'm serving these people.
Exactly.
I am serving these people.
Right.
Holly, where's the data?
Right.
Where's the data? And sitting in these meetings and understanding how important, you all make it so simple.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a great help.
Yeah. There's really many of the emerging nonprofits, we're actually trying to change that language from grassroots, because I think when people think of grassroots, I was going to use a term that our chair used, but I'm not going to use that term. They think of just no structure, and that you're just out there doing the work. And that's not really the case. There's a structure, and there is a way that work is done. They're just so busy doing the work that many times they haven't documented how they do it, what they're doing, the money that it takes to do the work. And so that's why we try to move to this term called emerging organizations, emerging nonprofits. But there is a paradigm shift that has to happen, and we have done a lot of work toward that paradigm shift to understand that while you are doing the good work, we know you're out there doing it. We get that. But we are now living in a society that says, if I am going to put money behind what you do, I need to know that you are going to be accountable for that money. Because the money that goes behind the agencies and the programs that are funded is this community's money. It's taxpayer money, it's property tax funding. And so all people that pay into those property tax have the right to know that money is being spent in an effective and efficient manner, and that results are coming from that. In this community, we've had several programs, several organizations, government and nonprofits, that have put millions of dollars into human services, from the birth space all the way until the elderly space. But we're not seeing the change that we want to see, because we have not moved to the space of accountability and performance measures. So even now, those funders are understanding that it's important to put performance measures in place, program metrics in place, and state the goal that we're trying to achieve. We are trying to ensure that the majority of our children are ready for kindergarten by the time they get there. We are trying to ensure that our third graders are reading at or above that level. Our goal is to ensure that the majority of our kids graduate high school with not only a diploma, but possibly certification, so that they can make a choice between college and going out into the workforce. We want to ensure that every mother who is expecting is getting the prenatal care they need, so that our infant mortality rate is going down, particularly in Black and Brown communities, and our maternal mortality rate is going down, and our birth weights of our babies is going up. So it's not just about providing the service, it's about being accountable for the funding you receive and showing us that the work you're doing is effectuating the outcome. And I think that's the difference, or the accoutrement, if you will, the added secret sauce that the council has added into this equation of all of these funders who are putting money in the space of human services.
Okay, hold on for just a minute, Holly. I know some of my audience just went the cuckoo.
Accoutrement. I was an English major at FAMU.
She's about to give you the
I was an English major at FAMU, and accoutrement, however you want to pronounce it, but it's the extra. It's the items in a meal that add to the meal, that make the meal taste better.
It's
that
the fresh
make it-
thyme, right? Sprinkled
that
on the
makes
top
it
that make it
function
beautiful and
better.
tasty.
Yeah, you know, like, have you ever seen the Fred Sanford when you got the black
Oh yes,
cop and the white cop?
yes.
Mhm.
And they're trying to say something to Fred Sanford, and the white cop just go the
Accoutrement.
yep, that's what he told Fred, the accoutrement and all of that, and then y'all just did the opposite, you know, because it was Sika, the black lady, who come talking about the accoutrement. Oh my God, that's an accoutrement. I just put it on my audience. I just put it on the
It's
audience.
the exclamation point at the end of the sentence.
And then Holly come back and said, it's just an added ingredient. You're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Secret sauce. There we
Yeah.
go. There we go.
All right, so we're on the same page now. Did you say that
Awesome.
reverse? That was good, wasn't it? I just wanted to help the audience, right? But yeah, that was good. That was good because that's what we want. We have to bind it together. And I'm not ashamed to use me because I did the work. I documented well. I have all the documents, but it's like how many?
We like to say, how many did you serve? How well did you serve them? And are they any better off? Like,
That's
those
right.
are the 3 core questions, and it's
Yeah.
really as simple as that. And
Yes.
for those that are listening, tuning in today, and they want to learn a little bit more about it, it's called our Small Investments for Program Success. It's our SIPS program. It's actually open right now until April 4th. So that there is funding available exactly for these small emerging nonprofits specifically invested in the space of kindergarten readiness, youth mental health. That's really where our council is focused on wanting to engage with these gap fillers in those spaces. And it's, as you said, it's a journey. So it's not that they have to come in and know everything right up front.
Right.
They have to have that passion and know how they want to use it. And it's almost like a training ground that these programs can go through. If you've never collected data before, that's okay. We can teach you.
Yes.
If you've never, like, if you know that you're doing your finances well, but maybe you don't have a fully fledged out financial management process,
Right.
that's okay. This program is designed to teach you. If we can, it's like, look, I'm remembering a phrase, I think it's by Mr. Rogers, about like, look for the helpers.
Right.
But it's about finding the helpers and then just adding in that secret sauce and helping them do it just a little bit better.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even at our daycare, we were, as I told you, my mom was in daycare for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of senators and legislators and judges and all those people, business owners, who've gone through her child development. She said she's not daycare, her child development center.
I like to call them early learning.
Early
You don't
learning
take care
center.
of days, you take care
Right.
of children.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I can pride with my sister Carolyn Waddell is that at our child development center, we tell the parents, you have to get involved now.
Yes.
We can't have absenteeism now in kindergarten. I mean, even at birth, they have
Dr.
to.
Judy,
They
that's a
have to
whole. You could do a whole show on absenteeism and understanding that absenteeism is what is contributing to the declining academics, not necessarily behavior. And I would encourage you to have Dr. Benny Bolden from Leon County Schools, because he is doing some work on understanding that in our school district and then across the country. As a matter of fact, there is a lot of work and effort being put into what is it that contributes to absenteeism. And so going back to your point, it does start early on, but let's think about if a family is trying to ensure that food is on the table and that mother or father or mother and father are working third shift, or each of them have 2 jobs, and coming home and then making sure that their child goes to the child care center and they're tired, they might make the decision, you know what, you can just stay home today. And understanding that child care centers and early learning centers are no longer just changing diapers and feeding your child. They are starting with that development early, and they are asking parents to engage in that. And so when we talk about parent engagement, and we talk about telling parents how they can be more involved, we need to look at what are the supports that we need to give our families so that they can be involved, so that they can have that energy to be able to use just simple things to enrich their child and be involved with their child's education and development. We all know that they tell you from the time you learn you're pregnant, you should be reading to your child, because your child can begin to hear you even in the womb. And so it is important that we focus on that for sure, but that we also give our families what they need so that they can focus on that. Because it's one thing to say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's another thing when I don't have boots.
When I don't have boots.
And I don't have a way to get boots because I don't have a job to get them, or if I have a job, I don't have transportation to get them, or if I have the transportation won't get me there during the hours that the boots are being sold, or when I get there, the boots are so expensive, I got to spend my food money on the boot. So I could go on and on about the philosophy behind why it is important for all of us to be concerned about the least of these, because that is how we are defined as a city, as a county, as a state. How is it that we care for the least of these?
Yes. And that's how we started Dream Builders Family Affairs. We went in the house. And I learned that. I took that in there from working with Children and Family Services as a protective service counselor, as a foster care counselor, and as a parent trainer, and from my own upbringing. Because my mom would take her St. John dresses and give them to these women. They couldn't come into her daycare a certain way. She said, no, you're coming in here dropping off your child and da-da-da. And so my sister Carolyn used to sing philosophy. She had them know, no, don't come in here with that rag on. Take it off and da-da-da. But we went into the families because we understood that sometimes you're asking me to do things that just won't work.
Right. I don't have the tools to be able to do that.
And I may have the boots, the straps gone, because I had to use them somewhere else to make things happen. I remember the first family that I got who had 10 children living in a 2.5 bedroom home. And I asked, what would make you, and I don't go in, I've learned this, because I'm not going to allow anybody into my house to tell me how to run my house.
Exactly.
I know what works for my house, regardless of what you say.
Right.
And I would ask them, let's sit down, because here we have a family of leaders. Everybody leaders. So let's see how it works. And when I asked the mom what she wanted a dining room table. The house was already small, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world I'm going to put a dining room table? The man, he wanted his house painted. He wasn't her husband, but he was that father figure in the home. The children wanted a 55-inch TV on a wall. I'm saying to myself, how in the world are we going to make this work? So I talked with creative people in my church, and we made it work.
Yeah.
We had a big cookout in the community. Big cookout. The men got together, they painted that house. Where did I get that from? That's what we used to do at home.
You know what I love about that is that you listen. I think that there's this idea that organizations like ours, or the big ones that we fund, that we know what's best for communities. And the truth is that the individual families, they know what's best for them, and they just want to be listened to. And I think that that's something that we've really tried to implement at the council, is that we listen first, and then we respond, and we take all of the knowledge that we have to be able to provide choices and resources. But at the end of the day, the families are the ones who are going to transform themselves. And I think that that's the philosophy behind our family resource centers. And so that's another thing that the council has made a huge investment in, is creating place-based neighborhood resources that embodies that. So while we're not necessarily going into your home, but we try to create that home atmosphere, and anyone's welcome. You can come in and you can say what those goals are. Maybe it's getting that dining room table, or just accessing clothing or food or whatever it might be. And so seeing that take off in the Cross Creek area, getting ready to take off in the Fort Braden community. We're having, I think tomorrow, there's a conversation in the Frenchtown Griffin Heights area about possibly looking into that area to create this neighborhood family resource center that does exactly that. Listen first and then lead in partnership. And so I love that just naturally, organically, that's how you've started. And that's the example that you've set here in this community, because what we know is that that's what works.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing, you can't be afraid that they don't know.
Mhm.
You know,
And you can't assume.
we can't assume. We can't assume.
Right. It's interesting because so I too did a stint at DCF and CHS, and I've always been ancillary, I think, to learning family issues. And what I always would like to say when I was working in tandem with foster care, adoptions, independent living, is no one has a child. Very few people, very few. And I would go into the people that would do this have a mental deficiency. You don't have a child and say, I want this child to fail.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Nobody. But depending on the circumstances in which the child was born, through no fault of the child's own, there may not be a knowledge of the various things that will help this child achieve their greatness, which I stole that from Cornell West. That's not mine. But I have adopted that because that ultimately is what I believe gets us to a community that is great.
Yes.
When you facilitate children, youth, and families achieving their greatness as defined by them. We just assume everybody wants to live in a mansion. That's just not true.
It's not.
Everybody doesn't want to drive a Porsche. Everybody does. But people do want to know
It's too expensive.
that when they go in their house,
Mhm.
it's free of critters. It's a roof. There's food in the refrigerator. I can feed my kids.
Exactly.
I can get in a car or get on public transportation to go to work. My kids are going to a school where they can learn. Everybody, and they feel safe. My neighborhoods are safe. So how do we go about in a collective manner, in a coordinated manner, to effectuate this for everyone in our community? That is the thing that drives this work, and is ensuring that no matter what side of town, on what side of town you reside, you can have a good life as defined by you.
So how do you all work, all of us together like that, to help build this type of community or partnership from the emerging organization and those who all y'all have another name for the big organization?
No,
They're larger organizations.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're larger organizations.
Because we can't have a feeling of, and I met with some of the emerging ones, and I told them it's really easy.
I think
And
there's this
I share with
idea of
I think you're going to
collaborate. So
Yeah.
oftentimes, especially in the funding world, we incentivize competition instead of collaboration.
Right.
And so let's just
Exactly.
flip
Okay.
that for one thing. I mean, I think one of the trainings that you went through for starters is we intentionally brought folks together, and instead of saying, congratulations, you've received a grant, we said, congratulations, welcome to the family.
Right.
And we spent this first part of the training of everyone go around and talk about who you are and what you do and why you do it. And when you leave today, our goal is, yes, you're going to be prepared to implement your contract, but also that you've made a connection here with another organization that's maybe similar to yours, that you might see an opportunity for collaboration. And now with the funding that we do, we actually require it instead of just encouraging. It's part of the application. What organization are you going to partner with to help you be better, do more, stretch the dollar further? Part of it is, like, selfishly, I'll say part of it is about being just more efficient with the public dollar. But also when you can collaborate with someone else, you can create those economies of scale that allows you to do more with less, but to do it even more effectively. And I think that's the first step, is encouraging folks to work together.
Absolutely. And so there is this saying, which our chair hates when he sees this happening, and it's called mission creep. And so when you have, to go back to what Holly said, when you have this competitive environment, and your organizations are looking for every dollar, it is very tempting to move away from the reason you founded your organization, because I'm going to creep and write to what the money says it is designed to do. That is the death of an organization, because it is important to define, why are you here? What is my mission?
Know your space.
Know your space. And you identify opportunities in that space. But there could be that the opportunity fits your space, but there's a piece over here where you do not have that strength. You don't have that strength. You don't have that program. But there is another program. There's another organization that does that and does that well. So why not collaborate and come together? And you do what you do well, and the other organization does what they do well. So now you have 2, 3, 4 organizations that feed into what they do well and are able to wrap themselves around this family, this child, this youth. It truly is the definition of collective impact. And I had a very good colleague say to me that this community is not ripe for collective impact. And I have said to her, if it is the last thing I do, I'm going to prove that wrong. Because if we don't move toward collective impact, toward not worrying about who gets the credit, but worry about what the goal is on the other side. If we don't do that, we are going to perish. We are.
Yeah.
And so I believe that CSC came, not to get biblical, but to get biblical. And I'm not a Bible scholar by no means.
It's okay. We don't
But-
have to
it's
say-
appropriate.
in Habakkuk, they talk about the appointed time. I do believe that CSC came at the appointed time, because statutorily, one of our responsibilities is to be a convener. And I think that's what was missing. How do you be a convener? When we are out in the public, all of our team, our performance partners, special projects director, Dina Snyder, our programs and finance, when we are out in the community, we are listening for all the different things that organizations are doing. And then we come back and they will say, Sika, this organization is doing this. I was thinking they could partner up with this organization. Or better yet, this organization says they want to do this. Well, we know that this is already going on here, here, and here. So how do we pull it together so that the effort is massive rather than all these little efforts going on? It's wildly important. It is terribly imperative for us to stop worrying about the credit and start worrying about what we want to see.
I'm notoriously known that if someone's like, oh, do you know anybody who does this? And I'll say, absolutely, can I connect you? So if you give your phone number to me and I have you in my phone, you will likely at some point get an email or a text that says, hi, so-and-so's copied on this text message, so-and-so's copied on this email. And I always sign off, happy connecting, because we have to stop gatekeeping one another and gatekeeping the resources that are out there, and see those opportunities and open doors for each other and make those connections.
Absolutely.
And that's what we just have to do.
And I'm gonna say you do that, and LaShawn does that.
Oh, LaShawn Gordon, yes.
You're so. I mean, I've got one for you, and I'm like, connect them with who? And I said, Holly said we're connecting, but we've met, and things have worked perfectly. LaShawn Gordon does that with the United Partners Human Services. And I agree with you all. If our community can get there, and we can. It just take, as you all
have
said,
everything we need.
We have a good community. We just have to stop being so competitive, competitively unnecessarily.
Right.
In the bad way.
The world is built that way.
In the bad way, but bring us together. Bring bring us together and let's make it work for the families.
Right.
What's the quote you always say? If you want to go fast, go by yourself.
If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go with others.
That's what we're trying to do.
And we've done a lot of fast work. Now we want to go far. And all of this, it sounds good, right? We got it all and it's moving. It's moving. And people say, but I don't see a change. It's because we are trying to address social issues that have emerged over 400 years.
Come on.
You can't address that in 3 years. You can't address that in 2 years. This is the definition of a journey. It's the definition of a marathon. And so the only way to get there is the consistent, deep investments over a period of time.
Yes.
And that is an important message because we know that there are community members that say, well, I don't see a change. You're not going to see the change immediately. But if you stick in there with us,
yes,
help us support, look at what the one thing you can do.
Yes.
The one thing you can do, the one child you can impact, the one family you can impact. If everybody's doing that, then we will begin to see this shift and move. And the reason why we know we'll begin to see it is because it happened in Miami. It's happening in Broward, where we know that CSCs have existed for a while. It's happening in Palm Beach. It's happening in St. Lucie, Martin County. It's happening. So those of us that are the newer CSCs, Alachua, Escambia, Leon, we have to have that same opportunity to infuse so that you can begin to see that change.
Yes.
I would also just like to just throw out there, the other reason why we have to do this together is because while it does seem like we have a lot of, like, an access to a lot of money, it's still just a drop in the bucket. And this idea of how many did you serve, how well did you serve them, and are they any better off? That how many did you serve is still not going to be the entire community. And our goal, of course, is that those that we do serve, that we're able to serve, that they're going to be better off. The truth is, though, that that's only a small percentage of our entire community. And so we have to work together with the other largest funders in the organization, whether that's our city and county governments, our school district, our health department. All of these individuals have to be, all these different entities have to be part of it so that we can truly reach everyone to make that change.
Right.
We can't do it on our own.
They can't do it on their own.
Exactly.
And they're going to take everybody. And once the family get it and the family start improving and feeling good about themselves, feel good about going home. Since COVID, I haven't been able to go into, well, I want to go in some of these homes, but when they feel good and they go home, and I use the motto, home sweet home, let me know like coming home.
Yes.
It's no matter what it looks like, this is my home and I like coming into it.
Yes.
I went into the home and I don't know if they were, what you call them, hoarders?
Well, just lots of stuff.
If I'm going to say,
Lots of stuff.
It was
There's
lots
different
of
levels.
stuff.
There are different
There
levels.
was a high level. There was a
High level
TV.
collection.
There was a high level. Y'all was so kind to the word. And I walked in and I said, sweetheart, you're going to have, you had to do something. She said, well, Miss Judy, where I'm going to put it? Where I'm going to put the stuff? I said, not in the front of the door. And she said, well, when I do, no. We went to Walmart and bought her some those plastic bins, had it to label them. The children was labeling. You know, I sat on the lowest chair and watched them label. They said, "You gonna help?" No, it's in my house. It's your house. And if I help,
I'm here to cheer you on.
It's not gonna. I said, but I got pizza and all that stuff. And today, her house is like she wants it.
Power and organization.
But when you walk in, it is like nice. And they took some things that she wanted a different color, and some people told me to have it spray painted. And some came over to show them how to do it. It is just absolutely.
It's about empowering.
And now what they're doing, Seeking in Hollywood, they do. Now they're telling their other neighbors, their other friends, their family. You can make your house any color you want. You can do whatever you want. Doc did found that sign, and I put it to some of the groups that I said, just go find me a piece of wood and fix it up the way you want it. Really? Yes.
Oh, I remember that story. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he saved a whole bunch of money too.
And he learned how to do stuff himself.
Yeah.
I told him, go make stuff happen. But as the family get happy, they share the happiness. I think too that they're part of this equation.
Right.
That so many people are working with. Got our Young County Sheriff Department, and everybody seemed to. But if we can ever just bring it all together.
And I think we're on the cusp of that. We've been in existence. May will be 4 years that we've been in existence, and we've gotten about $19 million encumbered, somewhere in there, and awarded over that almost 4 years. For summer programming, we've got an expo coming up this Saturday.
I was just about to say, I'm about to run out of time.
Yeah,
and I need y'all to talk
be
about.
Sure to talk about that
talk
expo.
about Saturday.
Yeah, so I'll give some of the details, but Holly is the spearhead, the one who's spearheading and making sure that the implementation happens. But this will be our third summer expo, and this one we're actually calling a Family and Youth Services Expo, where we will have the availability of the programs that we funded for the summer, the programs that we funded for year-round, other programs that we fund that for programs in family support and youth mental health. And we also are going to be partnering with the city and the county on some youth employment opportunities through TIFLA Tempo, our summer youth internship program, as well as the apprenticeship program at Leon County. So we want everyone to come out for that. Holly, I know there's something that I've forgotten, so I'm going to kick it over to her to finish up on some of those details.
Well, the most important one is that it's this Saturday,
yes,
March 22nd, 10
a.m.
a.m. to 2 p.m. We're very fortunate to partner with FAMU DRS. We'll be in their gym.
FAMU DRS.
So we're really, really excited. There's going to be a hot dog vendor out there, popcorn, but just also fun. A very, you'll notice a little construction theme happening, because together we are building brighter futures here in this community.
Yes.
We have over 30 vendors that are there, whether it's, as Sika described, those that we directly fund, that is not only providing summer camp and year-round after-school programs, counseling for women after hours, mental health wellness check-ins for youth of all ages, legal services are going to be there and be available, but also some of our other community partners like 211 Help Me Grow, WFSU, and some of their camps that they're offering. As well as the Leon County Public Library, and then a few surprises. We got some local children's authors coming out. Captain Smiley will be there signing books for youth. The Tallahassee Soccer Club is going to be there giving some tutorials for things, and so there's just a lot of activities that are going to be happening. Like I said, over 30 vendors. And then if you have those older youth, we'll have a separate space for them to go check out those employment opportunities in the cafeteria.
Yeah, so we want as many people to come.
This Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., FAMU DRS.
And that's going to be awesome. And I saw that, I was like, yeah, I need Sika and Holly. I need Sika on my show. And she said, I'm bringing Holly. Yeah, so, so you get your guests. I'm going to tell you how it's going to work. And you're like Sika, she's going to tell you who else she's going to bring.
Yeah.
She's not going to ask you. She's just going to tell you.
It's a team sport, Dr. Judy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we don't compete, we collaborate.
We collaborate.
Okay, my bad. They just going to come on your show.
Not a better way than to show. We live
but
it.
You know what? To have you all here to talk about what this city needs as for what we must do. And that's all of us, y'all. Yes. That's every last one of us. If we can help one family, we have to collaborate. And there are a lot of people in this city, a lot of children. And I'll go from birth on up.
Yes.
If we can help now, we can save them by the time they turn 10 and 12. But if we can help these families, whatever that family look like, whether it's mom and daddy or daddy and whoever, grandmother or godparents or foster parents or adopted parents, we just need to help the family and to help these children. We're investing now. And if you invest now, I think it goes with a child saved. It's not just a soul saved, but a life saved.
It is. These are the people that will be taking care of us as we get older. And if I could leave with one thing, sometimes when I do addresses, I start off with the words to the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and help, let them lead the way. So we can't say we believe that the children are our future and not invest in them. They are born here. They are the mammal that is born here, not able to do one thing for themselves. Not one thing.
That's right.
Everything that a child learns, they learn from an adult.
That's right.
So we can't say that they're our greatest investment and they are the future, and we don't invest in them because they don't learn it any other way. So yeah, listen, I have kids and we didn't ask to be here. You're right. And so it is my job. It's our job to pour into them so that they can take that baton and go right into the future.
I love it. I love it. Holly, you want to say a closing word too? Because she just closed out the program.
I know it. She did very, very well, and I want to take from it. But as you were speaking, it reminds me. I believe that it was former Mayor Gillum that told me about this tribe in Africa and how they greet people. It's not, "Hey, how are you?" It's
How are the children? Quinceañera.
Yes,
Yes,
and
that's
that.
it.
When I was listening to you say that, I was reminded of that moment of how are the children, and if we really do care about the future of our community and what we want it to be and achieve, we have to really lead with that question: how are the children? And if that's our priority, and we teach them well and let them lead the way, then they really will be the future.
Well, how can they contact you?
So we are
get this
everywhere. We're everywhere. So on social media at CSC Leon County. And so that's Facebook, Insta, as well as YouTube. And then our website, cscleon.org. You can email us at info, at cscleon.org. Please go to our website, sign up for Treehouse Talks. It's our monthly newsletter. And sign up to be a volunteer with us.
Yes.
We need them. Our FRCs need them. But tune in. Be a part. If you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. And I just don't believe people want to be a part of the problem. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so very much. I want you all to share this. Share this on your page. Share it on your page. This information and the heart felt for the children and families of our community, felt for us collaborating and working together. The heart, I know you felt the heart today. So I'm going to ask you, if you will, go to the website. That's www.info.
CSC Leon.
CSCLeon.org.
CSCleon.org.
Go, because I promise you, if you invest now in our children, you will create an opportunity for them to be the greatest humans they can be.
Absolutely.
And we want them to be that. They deserve it. We brought them here, so let's give them collectively an opportunity to be great. Y'all, Ms. Secret Green, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it was an honor. And I really thank you all for the information that you gave, that you've given to us. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all so very much.
Thank
And
you
look
for doing
forward.
what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for investing in me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. And you all show up this summer. I mean, show up. Parents, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Did we say that the camps were free? I just want to thank you for that
Yes,
last
they're
shout out
free.
on the screen.
Yeah.
We have 13 different summer camps, 13 different ones that are serving K through 8, depending upon what the ages of your children are. So.
Yeah, I heard the word free. It's free to you, but it costs. And if you just make the arrangement to get your child there, start right now to make the arrangement. I often tell people you could go on any vacation you want to. You just have to plan for it.
That's right.
And you could be as successful as you want to. You have to plan for it.
That's right.
That means if you don't have it, if you don't know how to do it, you find people to help you do it. That's about the simplest part of everything. There are people out there who can help you find the boots with the strap, and help you learn to pull them up until you're able to pull them up by yourself.
That's right.
That's what the world is about. Listen, I want to meet y'all tonight at Bible study at 7:30 at Life Changers. So I look forward to seeing y'all, or Sunday morning at 11 a.m. For our morning worship. Now, I don't know. My husband said I might have to speak Sunday. I'm not sure about that. But if he said it because he's the pastor, I might have to do it. So y'all just look for it. And if you ain't busy, come on out and join us. Listen, again, to two of the hardest working people, not the only two, but two of the hardest. And that chair, they keep mentioning him. Y'all know who that is. That's Dare Jones.
The
one and
Earl E. Jones.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
That's what I call him, the governor of Tallahassee. That's what I call him. But I want to thank you all so very much.
Thank
For
you.
your
Thank you, Dr.
Judy. Greatly appreciate y'all. So listen, we'll be back next Tuesday. The Lord said the same. And guess what? We're going to have another good talk. Invest in the children now, and you can celebrate them in their greatness later. That's Real Talk.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy.